There we go. Alright. We're live. Yes. Maybe. Yes. Also, yes, last time I didn't do a I didn't do a I didn't do the video with the thing with the model. Uh this is the new model that I was working on because last time I didn't do that. I didn't use a model. And so to make up for it, here's the model that I am working on. Yes. It is a Day of the Dead model. So that way, whenever it comes to the season, the spooky season, I can play some spooky games with this. Anyways, alright. Let's go back. It has been a long day. I'm hoping everyone else has had a good day. Okay. So last time we broke a lot of Ritra's things. We broke a lot of things. We put the blame on Ishtola. We're supposed to have a talk with her later. Don't know when that's gonna happen or if it will ever happen. And now we're gonna pay back Varshan and Vitra. They're the same person. Shall we begin? If we are to spend the treasure wisely, then we must first determine which groups would benefit most from monetary assistance. Some of my citizens may find it intimidating to speak with the satrap directly, so I would ask that you act in my stead. Osir, you are to visit Akiali and Yidlimad. Speak with Matsya and his people and listen to their grievances. Sidney, I bid you do the same at Palakistan. I will be conducting my own inquiries at the Giant's Gall grounds. Aye aye. Once you believe you have ascertained the needs of the populace, we can reconvene at Megaduta. Yeah. Okay. Ugh. That's cool. Alright, let's start flying away. I really should level up my, take the time and level up my, chocobo. Speaking of leveling up things, that reminds me, I gotta go check on my retainer, because apparently she might be finished with her exploration, field work, whatever. One of those. What's up, Matsya? Oh, see, I was so glad to see you had returned unharmed. You finished with the boat, then? Anything the village desperately needs. Well, I suppose Khazal's loss hit us the hardest. I've been trying to find buyers for my fish, but although I sell a few here and there, it's so much more difficult than it was before. Everyone's still struggling to rebuild their lives. For now, we're just banding together as best as we can. There's a plane that just flew over. How loud. That is not a door. I mean, it is a door, but it's not one where I can go in. Greetings and welcome, travelers. If this is your first visit to Thavnir, then you must try my special Amra Alasi. Professing zest cannot be beat. What could such a wonder cost, you wonder? Normally I part with 3 bottles for the generous price of 19,800 gil. For you, I'm willing to go as low as 10,000. You'd be practically stealing from me. I am not in Steam. Stidian, who is... yeah, he's the one who was with that spear-toting fellow. Well, you can hardly blame a man for trying. The world may no longer be on fire, but we are still sifting through the ashes, so to speak. Sister, spare me. We might as well have that ugly tower back for the scant few travelers we see these days. I myself barely have the coin to buy at local prices, I tell you. If I didn't charge the odd adventurer a small fortune for afternoon tea, I'd be scavenging for scraps in the street. It is nice to finally, well, not in their predicament, but I'm saying it is nice that there is not like an end of the world thing that's forcing us to keep going now. Sigh. How fares the port? Well, it's in shambles, isn't it? The trade routes are open once more now that danger has passed, certainly, but no small number of merchants have had to sell their ships to make ends meet in the short term. Add to that the sailors we lost in the final days, and it's little wonder the flow of exports is no more than a pitiful trickle. If Khazal and his consortium were still with us, I'm sure he'd have found a way to turn our fortunes around. Now, now that was a man who got things done. God's rest his soul. Gain understanding of populous hardships. Varshan awaits your report at Megaduda. Megaduda. You know, just before I started streaming today, I was trying to set up a table. Because I used to have a desk set up. Not anymore. We will continue after this. More on the subject after this cutscene. Sorry, I was supposed to be reading. Why do you retain this vessel now that your true form is known? You could have flown across the island in a fraction of the time. Be that as it may, the sight of a massive creature descending from the sky can be startling to say the least, and there are few places I can enter comfortably without risk of flattening some cart or stall. You got a point. Fair enough. As for my inquiries, the people of Palakistan were unanimous in their reply. They are surviving. Resources were stretched to the limit when refugees were pouring in, but they persevered with some assistance from Yidlimad. I feel so bad for mispronouncing these. From what I understand, they have always been an independent community, hunters and foragers and the like, and I was assured that the jungle providers for their needs for the most part. Pakistan has weathered the disaster better than most, it seems. I myself heard good news and bad. Quarrymen were cautiously optimistic, having just sold a full wagon of giant's gall to a foreign trader. But such visitors are few and far between. Compared to our best years, the weight of stone leaving Thavnir has been light indeed. Our nation is small and isolated. Its prosperity dependent on a steady stream of exports. We must identify any obstacles to follow out of trade, so we may begin working to remove them. Tell me, what did you learn in Akiali and Yedlemad? Again, I am so sorry. I see. Without a dedicated buyer, the average fisherman must struggle to offload his daily catch. Which is why I believe we should first address the lack of ships and shortage of able-bodied sailors in Yedlemad. I am reminded of a child I spied as I made my way back to the palace. His father lost at sea when the beast sunk their vessel. No, I just read that. So many variations of the same tragic tale repeated over and over, so many lives lost. Ah. Enough grief to drown in if we let ourselves be overcome, but we will not. O Sir Justinian, I will consider the perspectives you brought me and devise a plan to help my people confront this adversity. Come, I don't think that was the right word he said. Come, I would like you to be in attendance when I announce the proposal to my assembled functionaries. Aye, aye, Varshan.
I thank you for your attendance. The riches the Radiant Host have retrieved were hoarded in Al-Zadar's name. A fortune I set aside for a future day of need. And lo, that day hath come. May it aid our wounded city in reclaiming its vibrancy and vigor. In better times, I would leave such a task to our capable Ahawan. God's rest his soul. Finding myself bereft of his counsel in the here and now, I will assume the responsibilities of mine office directly. Firstly, the treasure shall be sold for more convenient currency. Thence, invested into the trading port of Yedlamad. Our merchants must have their operations restored, their ships rebuilt. Commerce must flow once more. None were spared the tragedy of the final days. Of this, I am well aware. But an absence was created by the loss of Karazal's consortium. And by filling it, we provide new means for our fishermen, our artisans, and others to bring their wares to distant markets.
And what of the children who were left without family to care for them?
That is a concern which weigheth heavily upon my mind. The simple gift of coin will soon be exhausted, leaving these young souls adrift on the fringes of our society. Nay, a proper solution is needed, one which doth guarantee their welfare for years to come. Thou hast surely seen how other nations rise to meet this challenge, adventurer. What dost thou deem the wisest course?
Taxes. Levy them on trade profits in exchange for your investments. It takes a village. To be honest, I might have spaced out there. It takes a village.
Of course, we must all look out for one another. Let us put this idea into practice. contract shall be written, requiring all who receive of Al-Zadal's treasure to commit a portion of their future earnings towards the running of an orphanage.
That was loud, I'm sorry. That was my wall ball.
Now, such an influential policy is deserving of a worthy name.
I feel like both of these lead to the same one. One is just skipping a stone so that way he could figure it out. The other one is, yeah, do it.
A
Really
successful merchant. I believe I see thy reasoning. Kalzal should be remembered, not as the blasphemy which terrorized Thavne, but as a hard-working and generous man who brought much wealth to our shores. Do any among you object to this proposition? Many here lost loved ones to the beasts.
In that time of strife, any one of us could have broken. Any one of us may have been taken by despair. When I think of Kalzal, I feel no hatred. Only a stinging regret that we could not save him as well. Isn't that right, men?
I want that helmet. The helmet looks sick.
This bodes well for that boy. Mirad, was it? Perhaps he can cut ties with that shady peddler.
Then let it be done. Henceforth, this initiative shall be known as the Kalzal Foundation. Nebdeen, thou art to assemble a patrol and ensure that no child in this city liveth in squalor. Clerks, see to the management of our funds and make haste. Our citizens must not suffer a day more than is necessary.
Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter morrow. Reminded of Ishgard.
Actually, I probably should have taken the food. Again, it's been a long day. I'm gonna try to power through this though, because I want to get through the story. Thank you for putting forth Khazal's name. Those whose lives he enriched will take comfort in seeing his legacy honored. You will forgive me for not speaking sooner, but I bear a message from Archon Shtola. She asks that you meet her at the High Crucible at your earliest convenience. Understood, thank you. Shtola must have finished her study of the Void Gate. Shall we hear what she has to say then? Yeah. I will go with you. Thought the satrap would be too busy setting up the foundation. My clerks have been the well-oiled cogs of this administration. Since before Ahewan assumed office, they understand what needs to be done. And I am curious to learn what conclusions your Archon has reached concerning the gate's unique construction. As you wish. Allow me to lead the way, Your Excellency. No, come on. Gotta click it.
Right, here we all are.
You discovered something new.
I took a closer look at that device. I was able to determine how it keeps the Void Gate sealed, but not how it might instead be employed to expand the opening. For that, I would need to reference the technique developed by Vritra's alchemists, no records of which appear to have survived the intervening years.
We know this, so why have you sent for us? Have you learned aught of value or not?
Patience, good sir. One must introduce the subject before launching into specifics. From what we understand, travel between worlds is accomplished by passing through the nebulous rift which exists between them. Picture, if you will, the moment you were called to the first. You touched a focus of some kind to help the Exarch pinpoint your location. His summoning spell then channeled the energies of the Crystal Tower to begin your journey to his world. The magics tore a hole in the walls separating source and shard, and cast you into the intervening nothingness. In that place, the laws of nature hold no sway. Yet even through this realm of temporal and spatial instability, you were borne safely to your destination in the first. The feat that guided you across such an unimaginable distance, both physical and metaphorical, was nothing short of a miracle.
Then what of the many voids sent found in the source? Who guides them here, and how?
An excellent question. Though there are several methods by which the Void's denizens might intrude upon our world, the rituals of summoning are the most typical. For example, let us consider the Gargoyle, a creature of middling power.
I remember these guys from the
To call upon such an entity, the prospective
earlier
summoner
dungeons.
must force open a void gate. The portal lasts but a moment and is relatively small, allowing only an imp or other lesser being to squeeze through with their physical body intact. Our more powerful gargoyle, however, is too large for that. Creating a gate big enough for him would require vast amounts of energy, far beyond the reserves of any one mortal practitioner. Instead, 'tis far more common to bring over only the entity's soul. We had a taste of that ourselves when a certain exarch dragged us to the first. And just as our bodies remained in our world, the Void Sense physical form is left behind in the 13th. Once at its destination, the summoned soul is granted a temporary shell to inhabit. In the gargoyle's case, a stone effigy has proven a suitable vessel.
Wait. You said that Voidsent must be called here deliberately by someone in the source, reeled in like a fisherman with his catch.
Exactly. For a being to navigate the chaos of the rift, with or without form, there must needs be a guiding agent on the other side.
When the hordes poured forth from Alag's Great Gate, it was the technologists who drew them through. Though to my knowledge, planar fissures are in essence natural passages between our world and the void, which require no such guidance to traverse. Why is only the boundary between the source and the 13th so fragile? So much so that it often tears open of its own accord.
I believe solving that mystery is key to understanding travel between the source and its reflections.
And how do you intend to get your answers?
No, the danger is too great.
Perhaps. But what some call danger, others think of as adventure.
Yeah. Where we come in.
Were you not listening?
I
to
don't
me?
like that visor.
Never mind that the means to expand the gate has been lost to the ages. Even could you force the portal wide enough, you would be greeted by an army of murderous horrors the very instant you step through.
I assure you I was most attentive, and I agree that to go alone would be certain death. But if I were to bring along one who has already braved the 13th and humbled the cloud of darkness, well, I imagine my chances would be much improved.
Count me in.
I had a feeling you might say that. Once again, I put my life in your ever-reliable hands. That said, as much as I would like to march straight back to the Void Gate, there is the small matter of being unable to open it without the Satrap's personal authority.
As I've said before, I will grant you and yours any boon you choose to name, provided it does not endanger my people.
You have my word that we will take every precaution, Not a single void scent will be allowed to threaten Radzat-Han, assuming we manage to expand the portal in the first place.
You have a plan.
Actually, I had hoped you might help us with that. I presume the alchemists you retained supplied you with some explanation of their methodology.
That they did. House Daymir was overseeing the project.
Daymir. Ah, yes. The family associated with the great work.
I did not fully comprehend the theory, but their research began with a void scent which had slipped through the fissure. After a thorough examination, they created an arcane simulacrum possessed of similar qualities. A man-made void scent, if you will. It was apparently indispensable in their efforts to enlarge the gate.
A man-made void scent?
Yes. Being great admirers of the Archons, House Daymir submitted detailed notes to Charlene's official committee. They expected praise and accolades for their simulacrum, and were thus devastated to be informed that their work had been classified as prohibited material.
If that's true, then those notes might still be stored in a forbidden archive somewhere. Not Google, of course, since that library had yet to be built. Which leaves us with...
With the restricted section of Numunan. With Graha's favorite place to sneak around.
Indeed. Numenon's restricted stacks may very well hold a copy. In which case, I say we head directly to Charlene.
Unless you anticipate needing help to reach the high shelves. I see myself being of little use. Go on ahead. I still need to find Mirad and tell him about the Kalzal Foundation.
He's got such a good heart. A big heart. Heart.
Be on our way as well.
For a certain someone who may or may not be watching.
They are resolved to venture into the void. Do I sit idly by?
Oh, I feel like I need to pop my neck. Okay. Okay, before we finish, or keep going, I'm undoing this banner. There we go, much better. Anyways, earlier, as I was saying, like 3 cutscenes ago, I was trying to get the little desk set up so that way, because right now I'm in a couch setup. But I kind of wanted to get like a little tiny desk setup to go, and the second I hooked everything up, and tried to run Final Fantasy, my freaking GPU just started going off like a freaking wind turbine, like a freaking airplane, like a PS4. And yeah, that's another reason why I'm so tired, is because I've been moving things back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it's not the story. I assure you that it is physical exhaustion, physical tiredness, not this story. If we're to enter New Ominon's restricted archives with a minimum of fuss, then we must secure the permission from the Forum. First, however, we shall need to enlist the cooperation of a member to broach the matter on our behalf. Who do you think might be inclined to assist us? No one springs to mind. What if Scholark Monti... I can't even pronounce that. He did come to Graha's defense during the inquiry, after all. 'Tis settled. Let us head to the phenomenon and see if he's willing to help us once more. Okay, it's all the way over there. Come on. Any places where we get to talk to her? Like all the way at the very end. Gigi, what's up? I apprenticed to Master Matoya at the age of 7 and labored under her tutelage for a full decade. Never had the chance to attend the studio. Neither did Thancred, as I recall. Soon after Master Louisoix took him in off the streets, he was put in the care of another Archon. His was a rigorous and practical education in the arts of espionage and survival. Sometimes wonder what my life might have been like had I pursued studies here instead. Tea at the last stand after a day of lectures? Should I wonder as well? Oh, never mind. It was just an item. Try the other one. Oh, that does sound lovely. Afternoons with friends spent sipping tea and debating theories. Still, I wouldn't give up my time with Master Matoya for the world. The dank cave I studied in was about as far from the bright, airy halls of academia as one could get, but it was wondrous, magical childhood nonetheless. Oh, that's nice. I'm the wrong way. This way. Ah, visitors. Quite esteemed ones at that. What may I do for you? Pray forgive the intrusion, Scholar, but we were hoping you might help us secure permission to enter Numenon's restricted archives. Oh, no furtive forays into the stacks this time, eh? I applaud this newfound sense of propriety, yet in all this wide world of comparative serenity, what so compels you to disturb a vault of forbidden wisdom? We're gonna open up a gate to hell. Sorry, drinking water. Fascinating. I had no idea such a technique existed. I would have been surprised if you had. I would have been surprised if you had. If my assumption is correct, the research left behind by House Daimir has lain dormant in Charlayan's archives for many centuries. And if you unearth this research, what then? Surely you don't intend to cross over into the void. That is, in fact, precisely what we intend. To what end, pray tell? To develop a method of traversing the rift, one that I might keep my word to a distant friend. Oh, she's talking about Runar. Sentiment aside, I have journeyed to the end of existence. I have heard, felt, and thought endlessly about the truth of our world and the echo of its future, and yet I want to understand everything, to unravel it all down to its very last secret. What scholar worthy of the name wouldn't force open a void gate or two if a grand revelation was the promised reward? Marvelous. An audacious proposal worthy of Master Matoya herself. And after hearing the whys and the wherefores, I for one do not believe you would use the knowledge for ill. I see no reason not to present your request for the forum's consideration. Although your petition would be better received if you also had the support of another well-placed acquaintance. My Master Fortunal, of course. He can hardly ignore an earnest request from his dear children's most treasured comrades. I was hesitant to approach him directly, but there is no denying that having Master Fortunal on our side would tip the balance in our favor. Very well, we will pay a visit to the Livier estate and plead our case. One last thing before you go. I would consider it a personal favor if you might share with me the discoveries you make in the void. My appetite for knowledge is every bit as insatiable as yours, I'd wager. So if you could see your way to indulging an old man's curiosity. Of course, Scholark, we will be sure to pass on any revelations. All right. Oh, I'm glad she followed. Didn't realize that. Master Seer, Mistress Udola. How may I be of service? We've come to speak with Master Fortunal. Is he home by any chance? Yes, the master is the master is in residence. I shall inform him that he has guests. Well, well. Emiliance would invite you inside for tea, but I assume this is not a social visit. You have some matter of import to discuss. Then pray proceed. You have my full attention. Well, I suppose I should praise you for following the proper protocols this time around. Express much the same sentiment. I assure you will not attempt to circumvent the forum's authority again, unless it is absolutely necessary, of course. Of course. You do understand that the restricted archives are restricted for good reasons, yes? If no pressing need exists, then why risk the consequences of employing this forbidden knowledge? For a brother who misses his sister, she was his guardian and his friend, a selfless hero who crossed the rift between worlds to save her homeland from horror and suffering. But the brother has given up on thoughts of reunion. He spends his efforts elsewhere, watching over a people yet healing from the flames of the final days, loyal to his duty while betraying the longing in his heart. 'Tis no vital mission, perhaps, reuniting these siblings, but it feels a worthy cause to pursue all the same. As one who feared losing his own loved ones, and spent years in research to prevent it, surely you appreciate how painful such a separation must be. Reflections are still very much a mystery to us. Offering to share your experiences in the first should constitute a fair exchange for our cooperation. Do not celebrate just yet. The forum must still be convinced. I will add your request to the list of today's deliberations and deliver the decision to you at the Baldesian Annex. And we just head over there. Such nice, peaceful music. I need to find a playlist on Spotify that has like all the night music. Oh, here's a merchant. I didn't know they were there. Did not know these guys were here at all. Oh, that's how you buy them. Oh. Well, might as well go ahead and buy them. So it said that I can dye them? I can. There we go. I always saw these all over the place whenever I first started playing this game, and I always wondered how people got them. Ooh, that's nice. I kind of like that one, actually. Go with that one. How do they look, though? A bit chunky, not gonna lie, but they look nice. So what did the forum decide? To put it bluntly, Master Toyo has burned some bridges here in Charlene and salted the earth for good measure. When it became clear that her student was the petitioner in the question, well, no few members voiced their discontent. Then the chamber was reminded, in no uncertain times, I might add, of the incredible debt we owe to you and your companions. That served to silence the grumbles and stiffen a few spines, and it was agreed that allowing you entry to the archives was the least we could do in return. That is wonderful news. Thank you both for speaking on our behalf. Yes, well, as I am sure you are aware, this permission was not extended lightly. Forbidden knowledge is to be treated with the utmost caution, and there will be repercussions if it is not. I wish you well in your endeavor and bid you good day. I bid you good day. Good day. Sorry. Ever the same, that one. Uncompromising? Aye. But that very stoicism is exactly what Charlene needed to guide it through not one but two exoduses. That went rather well, I think. As a child, I dreamed up any number of schemes for getting my hands on those forbidden tomes. Now I can simply walk in through the door. The focus will be on finding House Damir's research notes, of course, but the thought of so much knowledge at my disposal has me feeling a little giddy. Focus. be heading directly to the archives from here, I presume. Presume correctly. And you'll want to speak with the index page when you arrive. It's been instructed to grant you access to the restricted section. Excellent. Once again, we thank you for all your help. It was my pleasure, believe me. May you find the knowledge you seek. Shall we? I feel like I need to get a new make a new outfit for my character for these. I feel like I talked to Puddingway already. Yeah, I remember him saying that last time. I remember. Think the set of instructions I laughingly imagine may actually exist, but yawns away from where you found me napping. If I had known Azodal III's exploits sooner, I could well have saved myself days of research. Even a children's book might have pointed me in the right direction. To achieve the impossible, one must needs be flexible of mind and look beyond a conventional wisdom. A lesson I had already learned, but clearly not taken to heart. Archon Ishtola and guest identified. Do you wish to proceed into the restricted archives? Follow me, if you would. Watch your step, and please note that the use of naked flames is discouraged. Wow. That's cool, but how?
If House Damir's notes are to be found anywhere, it will be here. Let us begin.
Today in the world not my own, I met the most beautiful void-born creature. She was so unlike her ravenous brethren, eyes blazing not with hunger, but trembling like a candle's flame, threatening to flicker out at any moment. I wonder if she is even the proper word. Such distinctions seem insignificant even. All that matters is the love I feel for this exquisite, transcendent being. Though you are tempted to read more, this does not seem to be the volume you are seeking. Weighty tome. In the year 1564 of the 6th astral era, the Amalja summoned Ifrit, their patron god. Accounts described the being as a gigantic lizard-like being with a potent command of fire-aspected magics. If we consider that primal summoning is an act fueled by faith and prayer, it is unsurprising, if not expected, that the resulting deiformed entity should manifest to the appearance and powers with which it is attributed by its worshippers. What then might emerge from the aether should one who believes in an almighty omniscient attempt the same ritual? Would the scholar himself grace us with his presence? Some other embodiment of divine sagacity? Could this man-made god truly be all-knowing? And if it were, whence would such knowledge arise? I myself have many questions concerning the nature of the ancient world, with no spell to transport me back to the days of old. Could I instead summon a being possessed of encyclopedic wisdom of every age, yet with no means to verify its pronouncements? How could one be certain they were true? Wow, that last true couldn't fit. Leatherbound log. The following pages detail an advanced method for manipulating rift spanning apertures as advised by Nuhashan, the ninth patriarch of House Daemir. We present these research notes to the faculty of Charlane's Studium as both a token of our friendship and an expression of our boundless admiration. Appear to have located the forbidden volume you seek. Ashola will need to make the final confirmation. Well done, Osir. I think you may have found our prize. Thank you.
Yes, the ether signature is unmistakable. I've felt the traces of House Daemir's resonance many times at the Great Work. Time to see what all the fuss was about. Among the ranks of the Voidsent, there exist entities with the power to call forth their brethren from beyond. The species known as Atomos, however, is uniquely prodigious in this regard. From its distended maw, it can expel an endless procession of void-born creatures, a talent which sorely tested the Radiant Host in its battles against these abominations. Surmising that the entity itself was acting as a void gate, we endeavored to capture a small specimen and subsequently examine its physiological structure. Our findings reveal that the Atomos had absorbed a planar fissure into its own flesh, which it could expand at will into a functioning gate. Upon further analysis, we identified an ethereal wave pattern emitted during this process. A pattern we were able to emulate by passing crystal-stored ether through a specially designed prism. We proceeded to embed said prism into an arcane simulacrum, thus completing what we have dubbed our artificial Atomos. How could I have been so blind to the possibilities? This species, not to mention its ability to summon Voidsent, has been discussed among academics for years now. Just before the advent of the 7th Umbral Calamity, we received reports of Atomos sightings from every corner of Eorzea. Surely you've at least heard the tales. And still, House Daemir went and built a mock Atomos of their very own. I'm not surprised the Archons consigned their work to a restricted archive. It was no easy task, but at last we've unearthed the volume we've been searching for. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to stay longer. See what other forbidden titles might be lurking on these shelves. Ah, but that would be abusing the very special privilege we've been granted now, wouldn't it? Better not.
As much as I would love to start crafting the Atmos, I'm afraid this is far outside my field of expertise. Fortunately, we have a Hamish alchemist who would be delighted to involve herself in our House Daemir project. Our business here is concluded for the moment. Please pass on our regards to the forum. Your message will be conveyed. Should you wish to indulge in more forbidden literature, I will be here. Patron mode disabled. Security mode engaged. I thought it was about to say scrutiny mode. If anyone can help us, Nidana can. I say we return to Thavnir and look for her at the Great Work. I don't know where I'm going. There we go. This told it tells me you are pursuing a most fascinating study. Excuse me. And that you want me to be a part of it. I've no doubt you will be interested. This research log should speak for itself. Will it now? By the sisters, this is the mark of House Daemir. I never even knew such a work existed. You should. It was sequestered in restricted archives. It was, but that means every word within is forbidden knowledge. Forbidden tome filled with forbidden research, and you put it right into my unsuspecting hand. I can hardly wait to read it. Oh my god. To think the Daemir were developing such marvelous techniques so long ago. How many innovations have been lost over the centuries, I wonder? Now that you've glanced over the notes, what say you to helping us build a new mock Atmos? I say yes, 1,000 times yes. Work on a Daemir project that had even the redoubtable scholars of Charlayan trembling in their sandals? No alchemist of the Great Work could resist. You are a woman after my own heart. Ah, thank you. Oh, I suppose I should ask, what do you mean to do with this big mouth they said it like 3 times in the actual voice lines. So there's a secret void gate, and it's sealed in the ruins at the bottom of the bounty. Today is a day of revelations indeed. If the purpose of our man-made Atmos is to expand this hidden portal, then I will need to see it for myself, I think. Manipulating rift-spanning apertures is not the sort of thing you want to attempt without first taking into account every single factor. Then by all means, accompany us to the vault. I plan to lead us back there shortly once we've finished gathering the components I require. Thank you, Jay. I did get that playlist thing. Thank you. I'm going to try it out tonight. Charlayans markets provided the raw aquamarine and pure water crystals, but I might need help obtaining a small quantity of astrally infused water. For such a liquid, you need to go for no further than the font of Maya. The ascetics of old once favored the place for their meditations, and the water which pools there now is known to enliven the flow of ether. That sounds perfect. If you would be so kind as to fill a flask at the pool, I will petition Vritra to join us. The idea I have in mind won't amount to much without his authority to command the Void Gate. Shall we be about it then? We will meet back here anon. Yeah. I wonder, do I still have the plate? No. Yeah, there we go. So if I put that one, then There we go. Perfect. There we go. Alright. Okay. Oh, this is where that happened. Oh man. Why do I have to come back here? Freaking bad memories. I literally just had to come all the way out here, grab the water, and now I gotta fly all the way back. Okay. Well, at least it's not that far. Carbuncle. Wonder how you get that, unless you have to pay for it. If you have to pay for it, I'm good. Ah, there's Stinian. And Varshan. Do you have the flask for me? I don't think this is a flask, but sure. Yes, this should suffice. Thank you, Osir. I don't need any more materia. I guess... Skill school. Don't worry about that sign that just popped up saying I only have one. Eee. Look who I came across. Stinian seemed in need of diversion, and we, in turn, may have need of his lance. Ugh. Right then. Now that our little party is assembled, let us make our way to the ruins. Will we have need of Matsuya's boat again? Not this time. Once Estola informed me of our destination, I arranged for a vessel to be made ready at Akiali. Your Excellency is ever the gracious host, shall we? I just realized, muscular alchemist, huh? Okay. Oh, I know, it's right there, okay. For some reason, I thought this was further down. I wonder what armors those are, because those armors are cool. The ship is yours to command. Our thanks, we set sail at once. Oh, this is so exciting. Al-Zadal's legacy, to see the truth of a legend with my own eyes. All aboard for the treasure vault. Yes. Still can't get over that cutscene that happened there.
The ruins alone were impressive enough, but I never dreamed such a treasure lay hidden in the depths of the bounty. It may have been helpful to know this device existed, Your Excellency.
My apologies. The gate was a secret I shared with none but my closest advisors. I feared for what might happen should those with ill intentions learn of its existence.
What is it you're doing now?
There's something I wish to verify. The NOAA reports claim that a short stint into the void carries little risk of etheric imbalance. Should one suffer an injury, however, or if one's expedition drags on longer than intended, that risk becomes significantly greater. Gra has theorized that a warding scale would confer protection from the void's corrupting influence. But I would prefer to test that hypothesis before we set foot in the 13th ourselves.
So, this is an experiment of sorts.
Yes, an experiment. Tell me, how would you go about testing the efficacy of the warding scale?
What? Why are you looking at me like that? Surely you'd not expect me to wriggle through that tiny portal.
We needn't attempt anything so drastic. A small familiar should serve well enough. Now, a lowly imp can navigate a fissure, no matter how narrow. Which means an arcane entity of similar stature should be able to manage the same. I hadn't wanted it to come to this, but no other familiars will do, I'm afraid.
I mislike the sound of that. What manner of fiend does she mean to summon?
From ocean rise and cloudbank form, from mountain spring and rainfall storm, from river flow and life be born. Water, water, froth and foam!
Ready your arms. I fear she's been possessed.
Oh, come now. That was adorable.
Though not my first choice. These familiars I conceived of as a child have the best chance of fitting through the gate. I only wish my younger self had considered a more dignified ending to the creation ritual.
Ah, it's occasional. That was adorable.
In any case, these two should serve as well.
So we're gonna send those
This
two
one
little cute
will bear
things.
a warding scale. And when they return from the 13th, we can observe how the talisman, or absence thereof, has affected the progress of the Void's corruption. If
So we're
I
gonna
could
send these
impose
cute
upon
little things
them
in
to
there
open
and
the
then
gate.
just bring them back. Oh.
Your Excellency?
Ah, yes, of course.
We should also be wary of void scent slipping through while we conduct our experiment. Estinian, you are to keep Nadana safe from harm.
As you say.
You had best be on your guard as well. Oh, are you volunteering to join the Nixies? I could shrink you down, you know. Let us begin, shall we?
Give me a second.
Nixies, into the void.
Okay, I will return in just a couple of minutes. I completely I forgot to be an adult and take out the trash. Give me a couple of minutes, please. Enjoy this, lovely view. I'll be right back. There we go. Back. Sorry. Because I completely forgot that I open and work in the morning, and so I'm not gonna have time to do that in the morning before I leave, because I'm gonna be sleeping until I have to go. Anyways, okay. He's so excited. He's worried.
I think we've waited long enough. Nixies, return to my side.
Oh no!
Thank you, little one. You did well.
Poor thing. Its essence has been irrevocably warped.
We're out of time. I must reseal the void gate.
I say just do it. Don't say it. Like nobody else is stuck in there. Just do it. Cool.
They're coming through!
In the name of Alcedal III, I bar this door unto the void.
See, now if we try to reopen it, they're gonna be waiting.
Well, that was a sharp lesson in the dangers of void gates.
And what of our experiment? I'd say the results speak for themselves.
The unprotected Nixie has suffered extensive etheric corruption. As Nidana observed, it's well on its way to becoming a void scent. The one merged with the talisman, however, appears unaffected. I sense no changes to its equilibrium. Rest now, little ones.
Graha's theory was correct then.
So it would seem. But while our second familiar was untouched by void energies, the talisman itself shows signs of degradation. It was, of course, originally designed to shield the soul from primal tempering. It stands to reason that etheric corruption of a different sort would affect it differently. We may need to modify the warding scale's design to account for the 13th's uniquely unstable ether.
You've said much of the Void's instability, but my imagination fails me. What manner of place is this broken world?
Ah, my apologies. I forget that not all of us spend our days sequestered in dusty archives. The 13th, is a reflection of the source that was drowned in a flood of darkness. In Emmett Selk's own words, this tragedy was a result of the Ascians' attempts to force a rejoining. They erred in their haste, and made of that world a useless void. And what of your own experience? Will you tell us of what you observed during Noah's expedition? I can picture it now. The sunless, Stygian expanse, infested with legions of ether-starved monstrosities. A void in every sense of the word.
What you have described in such lurid detail is exactly why I hesitate to encourage you.
Man, Crystal Tower really did play a huge part.
Worry not, great Vritra. Our journey into the 13th is but the first leg of a longer voyage. A voyage that shall lead us to other reflections, to new mysteries and discoveries. And I mean to be there every step of the way. But first I must focus on refining the warding talisman.
Then I can begin work on constructing an artificial Atomos. Or I could, if I had the relevant manuals to hand. Might I be so bold as to request access to the Satrap's family archives? Your Excellency?
Oh, yes. That can be arranged. I will speak to my officials upon our return.
We will see you back in the city then.
I don't think he's too gung-ho about this idea, about this plan. And Stinian's catching on to it. Okay. Healing. Do not worry about that at all. Pay no attention whatsoever. Once Nadana succeeds in replicating the mock Atomos, this door into the 13th will be ours to open. Will you be crossing the threshold alongside us? I realize this is more my endeavor than yours. To be honest, I have no interest in visiting the Void myself. Might we discuss this later? There's something I must do first. Why does everyone insist on being so secretive? I at least had good reason for not wanting to explain my Nixie ritual. Anyway, shall we proceed with our other preparations then? As we saw, the warding scale can be effective at protecting the bearer from other sources of etheric corruption. Nevertheless, the talisman's durability will need to be improved, if it is to withstand the void's influence for a prolonged length of time. And I think that is a problem we can address without involving the brilliant but busy alchemists who created it. Who do we know who excelled at this kind of structural augmentation? Garland Ironworks, the Allegans. Garland Ironworks. An excellent suggestion. As I recall, Sid himself is no stranger to the Void and its volatile energies. With his experienced hand at the helm, I have every confidence that the Ironworks can strengthen the warding scale. Come, let us visit their operation in Rogger's Reach and commission their best and brightest. Oh, at least it took us there. Seer, what brings you to the Ironworks? We have a commission for you and your president, actually, assuming he's available. Master Sid, certainly. I'll see if he has a moment free. A lot of cutscenes. Pleasure as always. I hear you have a job for us. Heading into the void to find a lost dragon. That sounds almost pedestrian compared to your last adventure. Honestly, I don't know if you could say anything that would surprise me after meeting on in that bloody mess. It's a habit. Alright, let's take a look at this talisman of yours. You said there were signs of degradation. It seems some manner of corrosion has set in around a scratch on its surface, much as the void's corruption seeped into Nero through his wounds. In which case, our best bet may be to simply prevent the scale from being damaged in the first place. And how might we achieve that? We have a coating agent for strengthening trinkets and the like, but I'd be wary of applying any compound which might upset the scale's delicate alchemical balance. Far safer to dress it in armor. We'll construct a protective casing, one utilizing metal alloys with high ethereal conductivity, so as to not impede the talisman's primary function. Suit of armor, as you said. Nero has compiled data on the 13th, so I'll have him pitch in with the design just to be sure. If only it weren't such an ordeal to convince him to follow our safety protocols. In any case, we may need some time to untangle the particulars. Understandable. We know how busy your schedule is, and the final result will doubtless be worth the wait. The hard part will be ducking Jessie and her constant barrage of demands while we sneak about doing the fun stuff. We'll see what we can do. I think we can leave the rest in Sid's capable hands. Let's return to the great work and see how Nadana is getting on with the mock Atomos. Oh, but I have to pay to go all the way back to freaking here. Oh, it's only 400.
Hey, Stola. The adjustments are going well, I hope?
'Tis a lengthy process, but the end is in sight, yes.
That's wonderful news. I myself had some good fortune searching through the Satrap's private records. What I found was a transaction log dated around the same period as when Alzadal's legacy was built. It included a purchase list of highly exclusive alchemical components, and I knew I'd discovered the key to making the artificial Atomos. I then visited the High Crucible to commission the materials. After I'd explained my requirements, I was beset by volunteers insisting I allow them to help with the entire project.
The usual reaction to someone forcing open a void gate is to run for the hills. Harnish academics certainly are a different breed.
The alchemists of old were cut from a similar cloth. The unknown held no fear for them. Indeed, they were ever eager to seek new knowledge, regardless of the danger.
And were you not also fearless, heedless even, in your determination?
My sire entered his dormancy before I was hatched. And so it was Ashdaya who kept my eggs safe and warm. It created a bond between us. Even long after I learned to fend for myself, I rarely strayed from her side. She was my guardian, my sister, my dear companion. And not a single day passes that I do not mourn her absence. No matter how deep the darkness, I would not surrender my search. I promised myself the time would come when we would once more take to the skies together. But I am satrap now.
The Radiant Host is here to serve, Your Excellency.
Nabdeen, what is this about?
Celestinian told us of your predicament. For centuries you have protected Rads at Han, never showing your true self, hiding behind a curtain and living only in service to the people. Your dedication meant more to us than your deceit, and so did we accept you as our rightful ruler. After all that you have sacrificed for this nation, did you imagine we would begrudge you your heart's desire? We survived the final days. We are a strong and proud people. We, the Radiant Host, will keep Thavnair safe in your absence.
I am grateful for your loyalty and for your encouragement. And yet...
Now you listen to me, Varshan.
Damn.
You are wearing that face, after all. As I have told you before, you are a little brother to us all. And if you are family, then so too is your sister. We are there for you if you need us. But do not ask us to sit by and watch while you abandon a sibling you have ached to rescue for millennia.
We will succeed in opening the way. It is only a matter of time. All you need to do is prepare to step through to the other side.
Your Excellency, I wanted to thank you for building the orphanage. It means so much that my sister and I will have a place to be together, safe and happy. And I hope that you and your sister can be together again too.
Yeah. To protect them well, you must take heart. Will you wallow in uncertainty forever? You must take heart.
take heart and protect them well. Such were the words I once said to you. And here I stand, failing to live up to them. If my heart is torn, I am fit to protect neither Ajdaya nor Radzatan. My people, I have come to a decision. Vashan will depart Thavne for a time. My dragon self will remain in the palace, but only to conduct the satrap's most essential duties. While I am focused on controlling this vessel, there may be matters that escape my attention. I rely on you, my trusted friends, to watch over one another until I return.
Take care and fair fortune, little brother. Many tears would be shed should you come to harm.
I would not dare make you cry.
This is really gonna suck if we wind up not rescuing her. Could you imagine? Sorry. Surprise me, Estinian. For a lone wolf, you've shown an unusual degree of, shall we say, involvement in helping Ritra reach this conclusion. 'Twas for the greater good. The worm's thundering sighs were keeping his citizens awake at night, and had travelers believing the palace racked by some unnatural storm. What of your own answer, then? You seem disinclined to venture to the void. Excuse me. When I was one with Nidhogg, his vengeful thoughts were my thoughts, his endless rage my rage, and the soul-chilling grief he nursed for Radatosker's death. I would not wish such agony upon a foe, let alone a friend and ally. If there's a chance we could spare Ritra that pain, then I will follow you. The usual crew we have here. Any other former scions we should call on? Just us four? I'd rather not bother our comrades, with aught less than a dire threat to the star. We four should be sufficient for our purpose. Now, on to specifics. Unlike the first, where the flood of light was halted before its devastation was complete, the 13th has been utterly subsumed by darkness. My plan, as such, is to explore the void in stages, withdrawing to safety after each brief foray. 'Twould be more convenient had we some manner of base camp nearer to the gate itself. One of the palace chambers should serve. Come, let us reconvene outside Magaduda. I feel like I misread that. My bad, if I did. Yeah, we just gonna travel there. And so we will require suitable accommodations. Might we make something available for our guests? All the chambers are presently hosting the great mounds of treasure we carried out of the vault. Once the Foundation's activities begin in earnest, however, we can redistribute the trove and make a room or two ready for habitation. Good, please inform me when you've completed the arrangements. As you heard, we will have you settled in the Magaduda in due time. As ever, you are most gracious, Your Excellency. You risk yourselves to aid me in search for Azdaja. Providing comfortable quarters is the least I can do. I only wish we knew more about our destination. The gods only know how long our explorations might possibly take, or what our chances of success might possibly be. Succeed or fail, I'm grateful to you for convincing me to make the attempt. On that note, I will return to the great work and lend what help I can to Nidana. If you've preparations to make ere we venture into the 13th, now is the time. Are we about to come out on a dungeon? All I need is my armor and my lance. Perhaps I will train at the with the Radiant Host to pass the time before we depart. You know what this means to me, O Seer, but my purpose need not consume you as well. We are headed to another world. Find what joy you can in the experience, for you are a traveler, an adventurer at heart. This I know. Oh, I don't need any more. I guess critical hit. Meanwhile, on the 13th. Ugh.
And thus I am returned. To be swallowed, bereft of senses.
That design is pretty cool, though. Creepy as it is, that design is pretty cool. In search of Azdaja. Excellent timing, us here. Just a moment ago, I received word from the Ironworks. They have completed their task and are on their way with the reinforced warding scales. Similarly, our alchemists have also succeeded in creating an artificial Atomos. All is in readiness for our journey to the void. I've instructed our comrades to gather at the great work. Let us head there at once. You don't recognize the character. No? I swear if it's Xenos. But that didn't look like Xenos. I feel like it's definitely gonna be a aha, that's who it is moment, but I don't know. Very warm. It's Xenos' Reaper avatar. I present to you the fruits of the alchemist's labor, the Atomos. Though we've yet to put it to the proof, its ether is practically identical to that of the original. Truly remarkable feat in so short time. Aye, our alchemists have outdone themselves yet again. Small wonder what they are that they are the pride of Razadhan. I would express my gratitude to Nadana, but it appears she isn't here. She rushed off after bringing the Atomos to attend to a pressing task, but said that she would return ere we set forth. Which should be shortly after our friends from the ironworks arrive with the warding scales. Someone say warding scales? Because it just so happens we have them. Freaking Nero just... Right on cue. 'Tis good to see you all again. But for the president himself to attend, keen to bear witness to our little experiment, are you? You know I am. I was there at the Crystal Tower, lest you forget. I wouldn't miss this for the world. You don't mind if we come along and see you off, I hope. It's thanks to these three that we could finish the work so quickly. 'Twas my painstakingly collected data that made the reinforcement possible. The scales will last a good 10 years in the void, with nary a hint of degradation. That smile. As the ones who did the actual reinforcing, we guarantee their quality as well. They'll keep you safe. But enough bragging, here are the scales. With these we can search for my sister without fear of corruption. I know not how to repay you. Well, my friend, my only regret is that I won't be able to accompany you on this latest grand adventure. Wait! Yana, is aught the matter? Before you depart, Your Excellency, there is something we wish to present to you. Will you please come with me? You would not delay us without good cause, very well. Forgive me, my friends, but I will require a moment. Where are you going, Nero? He's certainly taking his time. What sort of grand present could take so long to receive? The kind that'll help him in the void, I presume. In that godforsaken place, he'll need all the help he can get. But you of all people ought to know that, eh? Called him out.
My apologies for keeping you waiting.
Oh.
Vritra, I presume.
Indeed, this vessel now serves as a host for my eye. I was aware that the alchemists were busy preparing something, but this...
We couldn't well send you on such a perilous mission unprepared, Your Excellency. We spared no effort in crafting the body, and I dare say you'll find it adept at wielding weapons and magics both. 'Twas our intent to present it to you sooner, but we could not bring ourselves to do so, knowing we could yet improve it further.
That is not to forgive. I am grateful for this fine vessel, and shall put it to good use. Again, I ask that you watch over Radzatan in my absence. The dangers we go to face are great and many, and I fear I will be unable to give matters here due attention. And in opening the Void Gate, there is ever risk that Voidsent will find their way into our world.
Rest assured, we are more than prepared. Our soldiers have been training under Master Estinian. On my honor, we will not suffer a single fiend to pass. So, think only of your mission, Vashan. Ah, but seeing as this is a different body, perhaps we should use a different name.
Nay, Bashan shall suffice. Though I may have thus grown up, I am as ever a little brother to you all.
As you say, as you say. Go then, Vashan. And best of luck.
I have something for you as well. While you were gone, Urianger paid us a visit. As you may recall, he joined us on our foray into Alzadal's legacy, in part to conduct research for the Loporrits. Research they were delighted to receive, and which has already inspired them to consider new ways to improve their own treasure vault. As a token of their gratitude, Livingway entrusted a familiar relic to Urianger.
That was the navigation crystal, wasn't it?
Aye, the crystal, which showed the way
Yeah.
to Meteon. The Loporrits no longer have need of it, and thus saw fit to return it to us. Harboring the power of light, it could well aid us in our mission in the Void. And who better to bear Hydaelyn's gift than her chosen champion?
If there is nothing left to discuss, then let us depart. Our boat awaits us in Akiali.
Okay, at least that's brought us here. Satrap and your fellows have already departed for the vault. Are you ready to set forth? Yeah. Excuse me.
I shall now lift the seal. In the name of Al-Zadar III, I cast open this door unto the void!
Go, absorb the Void Gate. It worked. We should have no trouble passing through a gate of that size.
What can we expect to find after stepping through?
On my previous foray, I emerged in a castle swarming with void scent. I was hopelessly outnumbered and forced to turn back. But together, I am confident we can hold our own. Upon our arrival, let us deal with any hostile entities and secure the area. The command of our mission, I leave in your capable hands. In the event of battle, I shall adapt my tactics to complement your own.
Should we require healing, I can provide it. 'Twould be a welcome change of pace from my recent havoc wreaking.
Take heart, my friends, and have faith. We will brave this broken world and rescue my sister Ajdaya.
Alright. Next dungeon. Right, it is a dungeon, right? Yep. Okay. God dang, that was fast. Let me set myself up better. Okay. That armor is sick. Fell Court of Troya. Yeah, that was a neat first boss. Different. Yeah, I feel like that was next. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Yeah. Oh shoot. Not gonna lie, I kinda got worried at that last part.
So the gate did open again, and delivered the most mouth-watering morsels. I am Scarmilione, Archfiend of Earth and First of Golbez's Circle of Fall. Such pleasure I will take in delivering you unto your graves.
Okay.
He's mine! Breathe deep of your death.
Oops. That's me. Who's that?
My blade thirsts for blood. Protect me, my minion. I give you a taste through despair. Stubborn mortal. Fill your mouth. I will not be defeated by you.
All right. 2 for 2 on the initial runs as healer. Oh, sweet. And I got 2 commendations. Would you look at that?
This Scarmilione, he knew the gate had opened.
And not for the first time. He and his brethren must keep watch over the portal.
As we do ours, but to unflinchingly consume our fellow Voidsent. like men. Perhaps they form factions and fight amongst themselves.
The question is, what will the minions do? Your mistress is no more, and the one who consumed her we slew in turn. Do you still mean to try us?
I expect some Voidsent are more intelligent than others. Perhaps these ones simply do not understand our words.
Even beasts ought to understand strength.
There is much we do not know about Voidsent. If we are to survive their world, it would be wise to learn their ways.
Let's proceed with caution and pick up what we can. Don't overthink it. We'll improvise as we go along. Kind of on the first one. I'm kind of with Varshan on that one.
Sage advice, my friend. 'Tis reassuring to have one so experienced with us.
Yeah.
I am here, sister. Finally here. And I will find you. I swear it.
Castle should serve as a base of operations for now. Ere we set our sights elsewhere, let's see what there is to learn here. We will not encounter Aetherites for a while. Should you leave Troy Castle, you may return here via Weaver's Warding. Additionally, you may now enter... Okay, thank you. Give me a second, sorry. I'm gonna check something. Okay, sorry about that. Alright. And even where possible, a dragon scale call is born upon ether. 'Tis liable to draw more voids into us. I see. In any case, there's little exploration to be done while we are confined to this isolated isle. I propose we begin by learning what we can from the castle's occupants, and understanding of their ways may prove useful to our cause. Very well, let's hope a few of them are capable of speech. Let all remain vigilant while we go about our inquiries. We reconvene afterwards. Estinian's talking to a freaking eye. This one does not but stare. I don't know why that's so funny. The creature snarls and glares at you. It is unlikely that you will learn anything from it. Ew. He's a cool and creepy. Excuse me. Some seem willing enough to converse. Whether they have the ability to do so is another matter. What enticing ether you have. Give me some. Give me some. Oh, if only I were stronger, I'd be able to eat you. Fine, fine. I'll find someone else to eat. You're able to communicate. This one seems to think only of feeding. Better to take your inquiries elsewhere. Like the prevailing tongue in Norvrent, the language of this world bears a resemblance to our own. It may be assumed that they share a common ancestor. The mistress's eyes are beauteous, sublime. To bask in her gaze is bliss. But now she's gone. Never again will I feel her gaze. No mistress. No orders. What am I to do now? What am I to do now? The creature mutters endlessly to itself, not sparing you so much as a glance. I serve, I obey. Please don't eat me. Dragon? What's that? Does it taste good? I don't know anything about it. Don't know about anything. But the one we caught recently, they seem to know lots. We threw them in the dungeon, but clever ones are tasty. They might have been eaten already. You've learned all you can from this void scent. If you look in the dungeon, you may be able to find the clever one it mentioned. This is a cool place. I like this. I have nothing to share. While those I approached had no will to fight, neither were they capable of holding a conversation worth the name. My experience was much the same. Low-rung void scent tend to have lower intelligence, 'twould seem. Pity Scarmiglione is dead. He was talkative at least. What of you? Clever void scent in the dungeon. That would be the area in which we emerged. Indeed. Let's take ourselves back there and find this void scent, preferably before its fellows make a meal of it. To the dungeon, then. But it's so beautiful over here. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry. This is a really cool dungeon. I like this dungeon. This dungeon is pretty cool. I really like the whole feel and theme of it. Can't survive without someone to give me ether. But where, or where will I find the new master? Pray we caught our weaker. Pray we caught our weakened in the dungeon before being served up to the mistress. Tenderizing, she called it. That's the way she used to like it. That's going creepy. Hazardous carcere. 4. Alright, we're gonna sprint. Though there's only the one dungeon here, we call it the 4th, the mistress's orders. Okay. No one comes and goes from this dungeon without permission. For you, though, I'll make an exception. Go on, go. I wonder why you're making an exception. Food for the mistress's consumption is kept in these cells. The mistress devoured, we're free to help ourselves. The clever one is strong. Another warden went in to devour the clever one, but he hasn't come back out. I mislike the feel of this. Stay on your guard. There appears to be someone within. Could this be the clever Voidson? Ah, oh, dang it, I skipped a line. Ah, it is his freaking avatar. You're the void sent bound to Xenos. Didn't you fade away when Xenos fell?
Xenos? The disgraced prince you yourself laid low?
I see it now. The bottomless darkness. The insatiable hunger. The aura was present when we faced him in Garlemald. When Xenos died, its connection to the source was severed. It was forced to return to the void.
Xenos. Yes, that was his name. And you are the friend, are you not?
Is that Heidelin's crystal?
Yes, you gave it to us. Well, I guess because we're holding it in front of us, it doesn't show it.
But how? The light just now. Of course. And thus I am returned.
What do you mean, returned? Who are you?
I was once bound to the man named Xenos. His avatar, until you killed him.
Avatar, as in the Void-sent servants of Reapers. In the name of his hunt, Xenos took up that traditional Garlean art. And through it, he forged a covenant with a being of the Void to lend him strength.
Covenant? A curse, more like. He stole my power. There was no equity in the arrangement. My very essence was altered, twisted into a tool to serve his desires.
Your previous appearance. This is your true form, then.
Perhaps, perhaps not. What does it matter?
I'd much rather prefer you stay like this.
It doesn't. Regardless of your form, you are a void sent by nature. So answer me this. Are you our enemy too?
In this world, only a fool would attempt to devour a stronger being. And though it was as an avatar, I lost to you once, I have no desire to lose again.
Good enough for me.
Now, you will answer me a question. Xenos called you friend. That's what you are? A friend?
Bit of a stretch. I think we should kind of keep this.
So, you're not a friend. Then... what is it? What is a friend?
Okay. As much as one might expect the unexpected, I doubt any of us could have foreseen this turn of events. She seems different from other Voidsent, at least those we've met, and the change we witnessed, I suspect, is due to your crystal purging the excess darkness in her. Even so, she still harbors a great deal of darkness. I'm very keen to hear what she could tell us about herself and about her world. Beef stroganoff, scallop salad, peach juice. Let's get some silver. So I doubt you came to the dungeon by pure chance. What is it that you're after? We were looking for a Voidsent with whom we could converse, in the course of which we learned of you. We are visitors to this world and know little and less of its workings and ways. We would be grateful if you could tell us about it, about yourself. So it's information you seek. What do you offer I beg your pardon? Winston do not give unless we stand to gain. Desire something, you pay the price. That is the sole rule in this world you call the void. That makes sense. Pray forgive our ignorance. But what would be acceptable as payment? I suspect that such coin as we carry has no value here. Winston crave one thing alone. Ether. In return for information, I offer you mine, just not all of it. Mind you, I still have need of my life. Very well, I will tell you no more than you can afford to pay. And we have a bargain. If we're to talk about the void, let us do so outside. Come with me. That's a cool picture.
This
That's
is
a
where
cool
I
shot.
belong. My home. This endless darkness you call the void. There was once light here, and it shone its warmth upon creation. The lands were green and the seas were blue. Life flourished. Before the war, the Contra Memoria.
It must have been a terrible war indeed.
It shattered the balance, causing darkness to engulf the world. All life was transformed into monstrosities, void sent. We are the natural order now.
As light begat sin eaters, darkness begat void sent.
The sun was driven from the sky as fleeting day yielded to endless night. In time, even land and sea lost their distinction. And though the spark of reason had died in us, driven by memory's shadow, we formed factions and carved out domains. This castle, for instance, its erstwhile lord must have abided in such a place once upon a time.
If I may, the darkness in you is too much for any man to harbor. To my eyes, you are indeed a void sent. Yet your knowledge of the past and your demeanor mark you apart from your brethren. You are different. That much is plain. But in what way, I am unsure.
As you say, I am void sent, but only in part. The darkness touched my mother when the war had only just begun, when I was still in the womb. As a child, I looked like any other, but darkness coursed through me, and I ceased to age when I become a woman grown. But that was then, and now, I may as well be one in full. I prey on the weak and serve the strong. I live to survive. Nothing more.
Forgive me. 'Twas not my intent to pry. I realize, too, that I have neglected to ask your name.
As we say mortal, you may call me void sent.
That is liable to cause confusion. If you are not averse, we would address you by your true name.
Then call me what you will. I care not.
How about 0?
meaning nothing. A name as fitting as any.
No, not nothing, but rather a beginning. For it remains to be seen what you will become to us.
As I said, I care not. 0 then.
I think it's a nice name.
A name is a string of sounds. Its meaning has no bearing on my nature.
Well, Zero, while there is no end to the questions we could ask, it is only fair that we tell you our purpose in coming here. We are searching for a dragon. One who came to your world long ago.
A dragon?
Yes. Ajdaya is her name, and she is my sister. If you have any knowledge of her, I beg you share it with us. Did you say something?
No?
I thought I heard a voice as well. The keening of void scent, perhaps.
Alright. I think that's gonna do it for today. Or tonight. Oh, I'm so close to level 91 though. Anyways. Ugh. The story's actually getting really freaking good. And I love this freaking area. It's so cool. I wish it was an actual explorable area. But I was gonna go ahead and do it because I am tired. I'm starting to fall asleep. And there's more adulting that I need to do in the morning, so... Thanks for watching. Have a good night. Good morning. Good day. Good evening. Whenever you watch this. Next time, this will not be my model that I use. I will go back to the old model. Or the regular everyday model. Unless you really like this model. In which case I'll keep using it, but this model is going to be mainly meant for Halloween. Yeah.